Vividness bias, a common cognitive pitfall, describes the human tendency to be disproportionately swayed by information that is emotionally resonant, dramatic, or easily imaginable, while downplaying or ignoring more comprehensive but abstract data. Our brains are wired to pay attention to what stands out. This was an evolutionary advantage, as a brightly colored snake or a loud roar would demand immediate attention over the mundane landscape. However, in the modern world, this bias can lead to irrational decisions, clouding our judgment and making us susceptible to compelling but unsubstantiated anecdotes. We find a single, powerful story more persuasive than reams of statistical evidence, often leading us astray from the most rational path. The mechanism behind this bias is rooted in how our memory and emotional systems are intertwined. Information presented with rich detail and emotional weight is more likely to be encoded deeply in our memory and more easily recalled. Conversely, objective facts, figures, and probabilities, while often more accurate, are dry and lack the emotional hooks that make a vivid story memorable. This disparity in psychological impact means that a single, moving testimonial can often hold more sway over our beliefs and decisions than a meticulously researched study, even when the study represents thousands of data points. Consider the case of Rohan, a young professional in Mumbai who wanted to invest his savings. He had two options to weigh. His close friend Amit told him a captivating story about how he had invested in a new cryptocurrency, describing the exhilarating surge in value with emotional flair. I put in just 10,000 rupees, and within a month, it had shot up to a lakh. Amit recounted, eyes wide with excitement. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity. I felt like a financial genius. You have to get on in this, Rohan. The story was a thrilling narrative of risk and reward, filled with personal triumph. In contrast, Rohan's financial advisor Priya presented him with a detailed, data driven report. She showed him charts demonstrating the consistent, long term growth of a diversified mutual fund. She explained its low risk profile, steady returns over decades, and resistance to market volatility. The data was logical and sound, but it lacked a compelling emotional story. It was just a series of ascending lines and numbers. While Rohan intellectually understood Priya's logic, the emotional intensity of Amit's story lingered in his mind. He found himself fantasizing about the quick wealth, drawn to the exciting anecdote rather than the boring, albeit more reliable facts. Vividness bias has significant consequences. Rohan might ignore Priya's expert advice and invest a large sum in a highly volatile asset, jeopardizing his financial future based on a single, non representative success story. This bias is not limited to finance, it shapes our perceptions of health risks. Believing a friend's harrowing story about a rare illness over a doctor's explanation of statistical probability and public policy supporting a program based on a powerful emotional television advertisement rather than a cost benefit analysis. To make sound decisions, we must learn to recognize and consciously counteract the bias by seeking out and carefully considering statistical objective information, even when it is less exciting. Thus, the vividness bias is something which has to be managed in an effective manner. Thank you very much for your time.